Welcome back to another installment of how to choose the right tire for your electric bike. Today we'll be talking about tread patterns. If you missed our initial video on this series, go ahead and link that up above. So we talk about tire size and how to find out what size tires you have, as well as what happens if you go smaller or larger in the width of tire on your bike. For now, let's talk about tread patterns. Before we get into it, we just want to thank our partners over at Schwalbe tires for helping support us this last year as we talk about tech and of course bike tires, because that's something that they are, well, really good at. Of course, I'll be referencing some of their tires in this video as we talk about choosing the right tire for your electric bike. When we talk about tread patterns and tread design, it's a very significant detail when it comes to choosing the right tire for your electric bike. Beyond knowing what size you have and what size you want to get, and of course the different compounds and features of the tire to make it safe for your bike as well as get the most performance out of it, the tread design plays a key role in that performance and in that efficiency. As far as tread design goes and the many different types of tires, there are tires for road bikes, gravel bikes, mountain bikes, cargo bikes, etc. And in this case, SUV tires. Now this Orbe Cayman is an e-SUV bike, so think sport utility vehicle like a Toyota 4Runner. This bike's equally as capable as a grocery getter as it is for going out to the woods on the weekend to have some fun. Now in doing so, a bike like this demands a very specific type of tire, much the same as your commuter or your cargo bike. On this Cayman SUV, we have a set of Schwalbe Johnny Watts tires on there. These are the Johnny Watts 365, which kind of opens the door to our next installment, which we'll be talking about compounds and the different feature and techs of tires, but for now we will be focusing on the tread design. Now these Johnny Watts may resemble a mountain bike tire, but the tread design in that tread pattern, despite being more aggressive looking, is more than that. The tread design and tread pattern does resemble a mountain bike, of course, but the lugs are in strategic places on these tires to make them optimize a SUV bike specifically. As we look closer at the tire, we can see a very uniform center tread pattern, two lugs right down the middle, evenly spaced all the way around the tire. Now that is done specifically for the SUV aspect of this bike, a bike that will spend a lot of its life on pavement, but also is spending a lot of time off-road. Those evenly distributed lugs will offer good efficiency and good rolling speed, so minimal rolling resistance when it comes to riding on the pavement when you're very upright. But unlike a smooth road bike tire or a smooth city urban tire, those deeper lugs down the center will offer more traction and grip and control when it comes to riding off-road. As we work our way to the edge of the tire and away from the center, that's where an SUV tire starts to look more like a mountain bike tire. The lugs start to get a little bit more separated, they get a little bit taller, and those are going to offer more traction and control when it comes to riding off-road. As an SUV bike, you're hoping to spend some time off-road in mud and dirt and rocky roads. So having those lugs separated and on the outer side is gonna give you more control when you're leaning the bike over and cornering. Now, aggressive knobby tires like these Johnny Watts might not be for everyone, and they're definitely not for every type of bike. So we're gonna go ahead and head back, swap out these tires to the Allgrounder, and talk about tread pattern and tread design for a more urban city style tire. Well, now that we switch over to the Allgrounders, we can take a look at another tire that still falls under the e-SUV category. With all the different disciplines of riding, there's road, gravel, cargo, commuter, mountain bikes. Each category will have a large collection of tires that are made for each type of bike. Within those categories is where we get to dive a little bit deeper to see how those tires in that discipline are going to be favored for their tread design based on the type of terrain. Where the Johnny Watts had deeper lugs and a more knobby style tread on there, more mountain bike-like, they're gonna have that favor in off-road riding. Whereas these Allgrounders are gonna have a larger, shallower, smoother terrain tread pattern. They're still SUV tires, but they're gonna pull that balance away from off-road riding back towards the tarmac for more favorable riding around town. These do resemble an urban style tire. They're gonna have more evenly distributed tread pattern, wider on the tire. There's not going to be as much of a shelf or a float zone like a knobby tire would have. So when you're cornering, going fast downhill, the float zone is not when you're upright, and it's not quite fully in that corner. It's the right in between, that float. Having a shallower pattern, that wider tread pattern design on there is going to allow you to smoothly step into those corners, especially when you're going faster and at speed. You can see on these outgrounders that there is a larger pad as opposed to a knob, and they are offset from each other, different than the Johnny Watts, and the gaps in between those pads is going to be tighter than those Johnny Watts. And the reason why we're talking about tread pattern, tread design, and showing you these two tires specifically is because they're a great example of two tires that fall under the same category. They're both SUV tires, but they're gonna have different performance benefits in different types of riding on different terrain. These outgrounders with that pad in the center, offset with a tighter gap in between them, is gonna have better traction on the pavement. It's gonna have better rolling resistance. So it's gonna roll more efficiently, smoother, optimize the battery, optimize your range, help you keep speed better, and equally help with stopping better. And this is a key detail in tread design, and where tread design really has an impact that a lot of people overlook. If I were on those Johnny Watts and purely riding around town, braking's gonna be fine, but that larger gap in between those lugs is gonna cause the tire to have less contact with the ground. So when I am braking, it's not going to catch the pavement as well as a smoother tire would. Equally, these outgrounders, even though in a clip like this where I am riding on the dirt and having totally a great experience, I'm having good traction, when it comes to braking and stopping, the pads or lugs on these tires are closer. They're gonna have less conformity to that rougher terrain, where the Johnny Watts, having wider separation, they're gonna let those rocks and pebbles get in between the tire to really help it adapt and conform to that rougher terrain. So when it comes to tread design and tread pattern, these two tires really are great examples of tires that fall under the same category, but have their benefits in different types of riding. Yes, those Johnny Watts might look cooler because they're more aggressive, more knobby, but these outgrounders will definitely have their benefits for someone that is riding more so on the pavement and might just be leisurely going out on some recreational bike paths here and there. But again, the focus is riding around town and bigger stretches of pavement. A great way to think about this is to think about that Toyota 4Runner. You can get mud terrain tires for that, and it's gonna have great off-road traction, and it's gonna look real tough and look real cool. But when you're just trumping on the highway and cruising around town, they're gonna be loud, buzzy, and heavier than an all-terrain tire would be that is optimized to have good traction off-road, but really great traction on the pavement as well. It's no different with your bike than it is with a vehicle. Tread pattern is gonna play a key role into the safety and control and performance of your bike, depending on the terrain. Shrinking down that list of tires available to you, we start with just understanding what size we have, which we did in that last video, and understanding that going wider or skinnier with the tire is gonna have an impact on the performance and comfort of the bike. Now, all the same, tread design is gonna play a key role into how those tires perform and how the bike performs in comfort and in control, as well as that braking control when it comes to riding your bike. And all of these things come together in shrinking that list down, and you'll start to see a smaller list, but still quite a few options out there. And that's where, if we are going with a more urban cargo commuter focused tire, there'll be lesser options there, but you can see where the tread designs will favor the environment and weather. Having the tires designed with a certain pattern to disperse water for rain, or they're siped for snow and slush or ice. There are a lot of details in those tires that will have the best optimized performance and make that bike ride the best way possible for your riding environment. The last thing we'll discuss when it comes to choosing the right tire for your electric bike will be compounds, and that's how soft or how firm is that tire, how does it do year round in different temperatures, as well as is it e-bike certified, and what does that mean? So be sure to tune in for that video because that's the best way to take all this info of what size do you want to get, what size do you need, what tread pattern style are you going for, and really locking in that last detail. All of these details are equally important when it comes to finding the right tire for your electric bike and regular bicycle for that matter. And I wish I could say it was as easy as just typing in what size you want and pick that one tire. You have options, which is great for you because now you're able to decide, do you want a more aggressive tire for off-road riding? Do you want a more optimized tire for urban riding? Do you want that puncture protection? Do you want the thicker sidewall for the heavier load capacities? All of these things are just so vital and so important to keeping you safe and really being able to optimize how well your bike performs on the road. Well, thanks again for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'd love to answer you and maybe help give you some advice or direction in choosing the right tire for your bike. And be sure to check out the previous video on tire size if you have any questions on what size tire you should get. And be sure to check out the compound and features video where we discuss everything that goes into the tire to make it the best for your type of riding. Thanks again for watching, and thanks again to Schwalbe. See you in the next one.